Good morning, YouTube. Welcome in. Check out a beautiful build for you. Today we're building a build for someone over in the Officer Messer TARP community. If you know what TARP is, we're going to send a link that down below in the comments. Featuring the 13700K 16-core CPU coming in the i7. On top of that, we're putting it all in the beautiful H7 case. It's all blacked out with 7 gorgeous black fans. That's right. Not a lot of RGB in today's system. Just a little bit on the CPU block, on the cooler, which is the H150i coming over from Corsair, and a little bit on that beautiful RTX 48 coming over from Asus in the Tough edition. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. If you want to catch us live, unedited, raw like it is right now, wearing these beautiful gloves, over on our Twitch channel, you can go to twitch.tv/stints, and a Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll hope to see you soon. Let's get some music going, guys. I'm over to the build station. We'll get started. Oh, yeah, beautiful parts. All right, let's get started. Go top down, guys. Get started on this beautiful build. We're going to start with our motherboard today, Z790 Tomahawk. This is our tried and true staple board. Like, if you want anything that's going to be performance based or like kind of like entry level into performance, this board right here is like literally it checks all the boxes. If you're an overclock, if you want higher RAM speeds, if you want just like ultimate performance, the Tomahawk board across usually almost every chipset, for every socket, for every type of CPU, it's always a staple in terms of just quality, price, performance. It's just really where it is. Shout out to MSI for always taking care of us and get sure we're getting hooked up. We got a big order for some more PCs, and they're gonna send us some more factory direct stuff, which is great to see. A great relationship with our friends over at MSI. Let's start with our NVMe drive today. KC3000 1TB NVMe drive coming in from Kingston. This is one of our staple, like our drives in terms of performance. So we have our entry-level drives, which are like the NV2 and the Western Digital Blue SN750 or SN570. Those are like entry-level drives that are still really rock solid. I mean, you can put it in a gaming PC today and be super happy with it. And then we've got our performance tier levels, which really start off with the SN770, which is one of the best value NVMe drives on the market right now. I think they're coming to like 60 bucks right now for 1 terabyte, almost like $100 or so for like a 2 terabyte NVMe drive. Absolutely killer. And then we go on to our higher performance NVMe drive, like the 980s, the 850Xs, the KC3000s, the Kingston Fury Renegades. Those are like our higher tier and higher echelon drives that we use here at Stintsville. It's a little hard to peel stuff right now with gloves on, so this has a little sticky peel edge right there. There we go. This is a little bit, pretty much just a little thermal pad that dissipates the heat from the NVMe drives. They do get pretty warm. Those pads get pretty hot. There we go, all in place. Next, we're gonna work on our CPU today, guys. 13700K coming in from Intel. Fantastic CPU. Really, people really overlook the CPU right now because one of the best bang for bucks is the 13600K. And then people are like, oh, we get it from the 13600K, you get the i9. But the 3700K does phenomenally well. The i9 is really like the kingpin, but the 13700K isn't really far behind in terms of price to performance and also in FPS. It's really, really, really good CPU. Take a look at the socket before we drop it on in. Make sure there's no bent pins. Everything looks great in the socket, as it should be. The fresh box of motherboards we just opened up here this morning. All right, down we go into the socket with this beautiful 13700K. There we go, down and in. Let's get it all latched in. There it is. Next, we're gonna get our standoffs for our beautiful cooler today, the H150i coming in from Corsair. All right, our standoffs are in place. Down and in with our screws. After this, we got our beautiful RAM out. All right, all in. Let's turn this sideways and get our RAM out. Today we have the G.Skill Ripjaws S5, 6400 megahertz CL32. The tried and true kit that we use here every day at Stintsville. This is one of our favorite kits. Price and performance, it's really hard to beat. It's Hynix RAM, which is really good for kind of secondary time using kind of overclocking that we do. It's really, really good. There we go. First stick down and in. The beautiful matte black to go with the blackout look that we're going for today. No RGB there, no RGB on those RAM DIMMs at all. Now we've got that in place, we're gonna work on our case next. But first, we'll talk about again what we have here on this motherboard. People on YouTube, when we check it out later, we're like, hey, here we are. 13700K is all built on the beautiful Z790 Tomahawk Wi-Fi Mag Tomahawk Wi-Fi coming in from MSI. Like I said, the 13700K i7 CPU, 16 cores coming in from Intel. Underneath our primary NVMe slot right here, we have the KC3000 1TB Kingston NVMe Gen 4 SSD. That is about 7,000 megabyte read-write speed. Fantastic drive coming in from Kingston. And on top of that, we've got our 32 gigs of DDR5 coming in at speeds at 6400 megahertz at CL32 timings. I think it's CL32, 39, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that is the G.Skill Ripjaws S5 kit. That being said, we're gonna slide the motherboard aside and we're gonna get our gorgeous case out today, which is the NZXT H7, which I know you guys have seen on the channel quite a bit because it's still one of our favorite bang for buck cases. In terms of airflow, in terms of performance, it's absolutely killer. This is one of our optimized no frills blackout system on our website. I think this case is actually gonna be moved soon to the Leanly 216 black, no RGB. I mean, this H7 is a little bit more, in my opinion, is a little bit more premium than that other case, but we're trying to keep the price down and bring our prices down and be able to offer all the same kind of product quality. I think that 216 fits the bill while still being all blacked out and good airflow. So I think it's really one of the last ones we're going to put in this case for this tier system that we have on our website. All right, get all of our panels off that we'll need today. All right, let's get our screws out. Then we're gonna work on our motherboard, our front panel connections, and then we'll move on to our fans. We got a lot of fans we have to hook up here. We've only got 2 in the system. We're gonna add 2 more on the front. Then we'll have our rad up top. We're gonna keep our rear fan in as it is, because it's a beautiful, fine little NZXT AER fan. Actually, no, they're the AERs. I think I might call it the, what do they call these fans? The FC or F120s, I think they call them. Let's see, they're called the RF120. There you go. All right, guys, we're gonna top down, keep working on this motherboard. All pop down into place. And this beautiful NZXT H7. Down and in we go with the motherboard. There we go, awesome. Looks good. Let's get our screws out that we need for today. All right, all in with the screws there. Do a front close-up of this beautiful motherboard in this case. I say blackout, nothing really beats the Tomahawk board in this case. It looks absolutely killer. Front panel connections, we'll work on that first, and then we're gonna move on to our fans, and then on to our power supply. So before we get any more of those cables connected, we are going to get our fans in. So let's take out our retention screws here. They're holding our front fan bracket in. Oop. Well, too factory snug. All right, all of our fans are in. We're gonna put these into the case. We primarily are switching, the only thing we're really putting DDR4 in right now is just AM4 systems. So we're pretty much all DDR5 now. Unless someone's has let's say a set of B-die and they don't want to go to DDR5, that's the only time we're really not putting DDR5 in systems because the price performance is just really, really good. And then our last fan is going in. Then we're gonna put our power supply in, chat. I'll show you the cables here before we move on to the cooler, once we get the power supply in. We get a lot of love from the community. I want people to know how much that means to me. Because I would say 4 years ago, man, before I really went full, I just was I'm just gonna go full time into this. I was working really, and I wasn't very happy. Just in life. I love my family, I love my wife. I wasn't happy. And I was doing a career that I didn't really enjoy. I was marketing and sales and stuff like that. I always love sales, stuff like that, but I was doing it for a company I didn't really like that would take advantage of what I was providing for their team, and I didn't like it. And I was building pieces on the side. I really had a passion for it. I was really enjoying it. I was providing a little extra income for our family. Because really, I do this for not only provide for my family, but also provide for my employees' families. We don't make a lot of money in our systems. We're really fair in pricing. And the big thing for me was, at that point in my career, I really wanted to have a job that I loved. I loved waking up to and going and doing every day. And this is what I do at Shinsport. So I really do hope that the community knows that and appreciate how much you guys refer us and tell us to friends and family and other people looking for PCs. That's how we grow. That's how I can employ more amazing people. Our team is awesome, and I want to continue to be able to do that. It's only through your support, because we don't have a huge marketing budget. We're not going and building PCs for the Ninjas and the Tim the Tapmans and the Nick Mercs. We don't have that kind of money. We're not Corsair, So we really grow based on the community really helping support us and just recommending us constantly. And that's really, I do appreciate everything that people do to help us do that. Cable management looking pretty clean on the back. So like I said, we have to get our power supply in. Power supply and our cooler is what we're gonna work on next. Let's get our power supply opened up so you can see all the cable management I was working on the back. A power supply out. MSI A1000G ATX 3.0 power supply today. Power supply from MSI. 24 pin main, 12 volt high power, which we'll need today. I believe we'll need a SATA as well. CPU 1, CPU 2, there's SATA. Let's get this power supply in, chat. All right, all the screws are in for the power supply. Next, let's start working on our cables. First is gonna be our CPU cables. Up and over, 1 and 2, all latched in, good to go there. Power is all connected, chat. We're gonna move on to the cooler. Onto the cooler. Coach, spit the cooler. Today's cooler is the H150 RGB Elite, and when it says RGB Elite, it's not a lot of RGB on it, so don't worry too much. AF 120 fans from Corsair. I love the design of these blades. Really effective cooling, really good fans, not too loud. All right, all of our fans are in for this beautiful cooler. Now, let's start working on our cables. Once we get our cooler mounted, we can start working on the rest of our hardware. Yeah, you can rotate the logo on these. That's great that you can do. You can actually take the screws off and rotate them as well. Like the pump heads on the Corsairs, they have a lot of the newer ones, they have like 4 set screws. You can just rotate the logo. All right, so let's get these screws in. You get 2 in to hold it in place and start working on the rest of the cables. Here guys, front close-up view, start working on the rest of these fans and screws. All right, 3 more screws on the rad. They're on the GPU chat. Let you guys see the cable management on the back, looking pretty darn neat for how many cables are in here. All the fan cables, looking sharp, looking good. Today's card is the beautiful RTX 4080 coming in from Asus today, guys. And the tough cards, tough card go hard. It is the RTX 4080 coming in from Asus. All right, guys, get these 2 slots open for our PCI slot extension slots. Sorry about that, dropped my screw. I tried to pause the music, didn't pause today, but here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Nice thunk there. In we go with the 12-volt high power cable. There we go, all in and seated. Love to see it. There we go. All right, time to light it up.
Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. Come over, hang out, chat it up with us, and watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.